Alright, these are my 7 audience members. Alright.
How about we wave like we need to?
Alright. Okay. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that if we were to go forward, we must go back and rediscover those precious values. That all reality hinges on moral foundations and that all reality has spiritual control. The sources that helped me prepare for this speech, I got a lot of quotations from the internet, thinkofthis.com, lovingyou.com, and angelfire.com. I also got some lyrics from singer-songwriter Aaron Weiss with the band Me About You. And I interviewed my brother, Travis, and also took a lot of verses from my Bible. Anyway, the three values and beliefs that made me who I am today: 1 is being loving, 2 is being patient, and 3 is my faith. Alright, the way I view life is it's a game, and if this game had rules, my number 1 rule would be loving people. Love is a natural emotion, and everyone's just drawn to love. Like, everyone wants to be loved. So I found this quote and I thought it was really cool, and it said, love is a fire that reigns in the heart. And I like how it referenced love as fire, because when you light a fire and you just keep feeding it, it grows bigger and bigger, and even it leaves a path even after it gets extinguished, and you can always tell it's been there. So, and I found another source, which is the lyrics from Aaron Weiss's song, "The King Beetle," that kind of helps explain the love is a fire. And basically, Aaron writes in this King Beetle song that says, why not be utterly changed into fire? And basically the song is just about how a caretaker lights a fire in a coconut state, and then it goes into a parable about how there's a beetle colony in the distance, and the king is mystified about how, like, what is this fire? So he sends one beetle after another to go get it, and each beetle came back as a failure, with only changed lives and no answers. So the king beetle he realized he had to go himself, and he was just utterly changed in the fire. And that's what the last phrase of the song just keeps repeating: why not be utterly changed in the fire? And I like that reference because the love is a fire that reigns in your heart. We should be utterly changed in the fire. We should be loving people. Like, people love to be loved. So that's what I try to do with my life. And my brother used to always say too that you can always lead with love. And I experienced this one-on-one, and I've seen Travis, my brother obviously, that the way he lives his life, he really leads it with love. And what I experience is whenever love is leading my life, that great things that happen to me, things that just filled my heart. And I found a verse in my Bible too. It's 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. It says, do everything in love, which just helps me solidify that love, I want it to be my number 1 rule, because do everything in love. And that's what I want to be about. So along with love, you'll also find patience. And I realized that the game of life, it's always easier with patience on your side. I learned this growing up in a small town of Franklin in the country when I was little. My dad used to take me to go fishing and hunting. And as a little boy, I was just rowdy, ADD off the wall, no patience at all. And I wasn't catching anything. I wasn't getting any game or anything. So my dad was just constantly just telling me, hey son, like, be patient, they'll come to you. And once I started listening to that, like, I started catching fish, I started getting my deer, every year, and it just really helped me realize that patience, it means something. And also, I see patience as equality with being stress-free. Everyone has walls in their life, walls that they're constantly trying to climb over, trying to get over, and I found out that with patience, well, those walls eventually deteriorate. They start breaking down, and they're easier to crawl over. So patience has helped me just deal with problems in my life, and I realized that everything that like through patience, everything it will get better. Everything will always get better. So, besides patience and love, it is nothing without my faith. The faith in this game of life is probably the foundation. It's my peace that I move with everywhere I go. I mean, like, I have faith in my Creator, which is Christ, and like, I would honestly be nothing without Him. Like, I don't deserve any of this, and I know it's all because of Him, because of my faith, that it's who I am today. And another verse in my Bible, it says, 1 Corinthians 2, verse 5. It says, so that your faith might not rest on men's wisdom, but on God's power. And that, to me, it just says that science can only go so far. Like, there are questions that are not going to be answered. There's things that people are always going to wonder about that they will not have an answer for. And that's where I think faith comes in. And I realized that this is where it loses a lot of people. Because, I mean, another verse, let me read this other verse real quick. It says, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, it says, we live by faith, not by sight. That's where I think people get really lost, is whenever they can't see the thing, they can't really feel it. They just wonder, and they're like, oh, this isn't real or anything. So, but honestly, in my life, I have experienced all of this. I have seen God through, like, other people's actions. I experienced it, and there's parts in my heart where, like, no man can feel that God can. And honestly, this is what made me who I am. And I just experiencing the love. It's just, I can't explain it, but my faith is my number one priority. And to summarize this speech, basically it's love and patience derives from my faith. Because of my faith, it's how I love. Because of my faith, it's how I have my patience, because I just know everything will work through my Creator. And I believe everyone should have faith in some Creator or something, because that's very important to the human soul. So that is my speech. Thank you. Go turn it off. Go turn it off. I just can't. 7 hours minimum.